Just kidding. That's not okay.
I don't think it's okay, Jaimie. Hello, everyone. To say you brought the house down at a funeral. I don't know. I'm just going to say I don't think that's okay.
No, that's not okay. No, I just did sing at a funeral though, and it was very beautiful. Not me, the funeral, but anyway. Hi guys.
I don't think there's any way to get out of that, Jaimie. I don't
like
think
not at all. Not at all.
Just don't even try. You know what's good for this, Jaimie?
What
is this?
It's the show that nobody asked for, the only reason that we shower. If these ovaries could talk is live right now.
Okay. I have to tell you, I tried to redo the song last week. I did.
Wait, you did?
I did. I tried to redo it. I don't have the sound bite. I don't have it anymore. I don't have the old. I can't. Anyway, it didn't work out. I got to redo the whole thing. I have to redo the whole thing.
What were you trying to do? You were trying to keep the little tinny piano and add in.
Take it easy. Take it. It's actually real piano. My friend played it. He actually played it for me. It's real piano, and I don't have the MP3 of him just playing. I need that back so that I can, change it up. But
I feel like we need our listeners to keep some kind of a running tally on when we get a new opening. I feel like it could happen.
Easy. I tried. I worked on it, and it's gonna happen. You know what's throwing me though? I'm on the wrong side. What's going on here? I'm on the opposite side.
I could remove you. Hold on, watch this. What I'm going to do. Wait.
No, don't move me. Don't move.
And you're flipped.
Oh, wow. How weird. Didn't know that could happen. Hi, Sage.
Sage, welcome back.
Oh, you share those stickers with everybody, Sage.
So
just put them on your fridge. That's
wait. First, before we get into this, we have to say it's Spirit Day. Happy Spirit Day!
Happy Spirit Day! That's why I have the pride flag and the purple.
I changed my Apple Watch band to purple. I have no purple t-shirts.
This is the only one I have, and it's Nashville. I have no connection to Nashville. It makes no sense, but I'm wearing it.
You just wanted to show your boobs. You were all.
I did not. Really did not.
Did.
No,
you just were bringing that rack right up there for everyone to see. That's what that was all about.
Really problematic that you just said that. Really problematic. But so it's Spirit Day, which is a day to support LGBTQ youth. And everything that goes along with
anti-bullying.
Anti-bullying.
It's by GLAAD, and we're so excited to partner with them. We put up. Jaimie made this awesome reel today that we put up about it. We're just so happy to be a part of.
Here's a behind the scenes story for that reel. We both wanted to tell a story, and then Robin sent me her video, and I was like, how am I going to get my story? It's going to be awkward because we're in separate places. So then I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to dance.
Is that what happened? Well, what's so funny? Hi, Justin. What's so funny is that when we have a project management tracker system, and she added me in it, and I was reading it, and I was like, I didn't really understand the directions, but Jaimie had a personal thing happening all day yesterday. So I was I think she means this. And so then I just said that dumb story. And then it's not a dumb story.
But I put it in there, and I was like, I'm open to any ideas you have because I don't know what to do for this. And then you sent me the story, and I thought, okay, well, I'm going to dance.
I was already a little bit behind because our hot water was down. I couldn't shower. I mean, this is
a hot mess of a week. I'm going to say that much.
It takes for us to make social media content. I don't know if people appreciate what goes.
There's a lot of thought that goes into every single post. Not gonna lie. So you should all be liking and commenting on these things
and following. But what's so crazy, Jaimie, is that we were just talking about the amount of what work we put into these crappy little posts that we do. They're not even good.
Don't call them crappy. We work really hard.
They're good. I know, but they're great. They're good.
They're good. So good. Anyway. Okay.
All right. Today we're gonna go right into we did have one quick topic.
We do have a quick hot topic.
Because we got a guest today that's awesome. It's a listener.
Oh my God, and it's a great topic. But
first,
JoJo Siwa is apparently killing it on Dancing with the Stars. So I went, because somebody, a listener, Dario, let us know, you guys, you got to follow this. So I went and watched some YouTube videos of her dancing. Very good, very impressive.
Well, she's a dancer.
Well, yeah. She gives a little too much face for me.
She's it's a lot. She was a child actor.
But she's a kid. She's an adult now. And I love that she's, with a girl. However, here's what I didn't like. So they got a perfect score. They did like this Grease dance. The Sandra, look at me. There has to be, the Sandra D song. It's like sad because she's going to become the new Sandra D. And it was really fitting and it was really beautiful because JoJo has recently kind of like changed her image and is becoming so it was beautiful. It was well done and everything. And then after they're getting the score and, everybody loved it. Everybody loved it. And they just kept talking about how, that's what a true friendship looks like. Cause it's two girls dancing. That's what a true friendship looks like. Oh, I just love that you guys are playing such good friends. And I just no.
They're making out. This passion.
I mean, I think they were supposed to be playing friends. It was like Frenchie and Sandra, but I don't want you to we can't like go that far and say she's gonna be dancing with a girl and then like reel it in and say, oh, but they're being so friendly. Well, let's go there.
That reminds me of when the U.S. at the Olympics, when the U.S. Women's soccer team, there was one of the sisters is dating like the star player for, I think it's the Australian team. And afterwards, the Australian team had lost and the sister went over and she put her arm around her and they all took pictures and all the leads and nobody knew they were dating. And so all the leads were like, this is what true sportsmanship looks like. And this is like, every lesbian was like, or they're making out. And then the next day, and then their relationship surfaced and it was hilarious. So
it's like that kind of thing. Like, don't do. But I will say this. Then I did it. I went and I clicked on another dance and it was an Argentinian tango. And they did get a little sexy with each other. Not gonna lie. I was like, okay, that leg action was interesting. Okay, JoJo. Okay. I see you, JoJo. All right. So I did appreciate that. But anytime she's interviewed, they just talk about their sisterly relationship and they're just best friends. And I don't want that. I want it to be like, I mean, she's hot. Look at her. Right. You know what I mean? It should be like that. Yeah, exactly, Sage. They pulled the gal pal card.
I mean, listen, they're playing to the rest of the country, to Middle America. All right.
Yeah, they can't. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
Anyway,
we have an exciting guest today. Michelle from Texas is here, and she's a listener, and we're going to bring her in. Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Michelle. She just does that without warning, right? You didn't know it was going to happen at that
I know. I was like, there's my face.
I like to keep everybody on their toes. On your toes.
Sure. But look what Kim said. Kim said, Paige and her were called sisters at the hospital. Like, really, guys? No, I just saw a funny meme that said, I'm just gonna ask all the heterosexual couples if they're brother and sister just to keep the score real or something. Because we're always anyway. Okay.
All right, Michelle from Texas. Give us your elevator pitch of your family and why you reached out to us.
Okay, so the elevator pitch, my wife and I have been married for 7 years. We have a 6-year-old and a 1-year-old. And in the pursuit of finding more donor sperm for baby number 2, we accidentally found a donor sibling of our oldest daughter. So I reached out to talk kind of more about the donor siblings and the experience with connecting with donor siblings, and even kind of how challenging it can be when you have different donors for your kids. So yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, my story. That's my story.
Yeah. I resonated so much with a lot of what you said and listening to some of the podcasts. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to reach out.
Yes, because Robin has 2 different donors. Go ahead, Robin. You can tell your own story.
No, I was just going to say, and as soon as we got the email, I was like, because she was like, have you talked about this or you want to talk? And I was like, oh my God, do you want to come on? Like, let's have this conversation on the live stream because it's I think so many people like, it's so nuanced and it's not just about the different donors, but it is about this path. And it's like, yeah, you can start off with the little books, like here's a book and this is where you start, but then it gets real. Yeah, it gets real pretty fast. And all of a sudden it's a much larger conversation. And we talk regularly about adding on to the conversation so that you're building. But there came a point, because again, to echo, like we have 2 different donors. And so there came a point where we were always talking to them about their donors, that they had donors. But then all of a sudden at some point, I was watching their ages to be like, okay, are they ready for me to say, and you have 1 donor and then you have another donor? And our kids are a little closer in age because they're just 2 years apart. And then it was like, okay, and how do I explain to them that there's donor siblings that are yours and then donor siblings that are yours. And that was really, I found that to be hard to navigate.
Yeah, definitely. What's interesting is my daughter was old enough to kind of ask questions and be aware of the process when we were going back to the fertility clinic to have our son.
Oh, that's interesting.
With our daughter, it worked first try, first IUI. We were like kind of shocked. And that's why we thought we had enough donor sperm for baby number 2. Turns out, struggled. Multiple IUIs later, trying to find different donors later. We had reached out I actually got on Facebook and just was like searching the California Cryobank and the donor number and found a woman had posted, like, has anybody used this donor? And the post was like 3 or 4 years old. And I commented.
Wait, so you didn't go into the donor sibling board? You just searched?
There was like a discussion board on the California Cryobank website. And I was like kind of like scanning through some of the posts, searching for our donor number. Didn't find anything. Looked into the California Cryobank like Facebook page, searched the number, and found this one post. And she had, posted asking if anybody had used the donor. I responded. It had, like I said, been 3 or 4 years. And within 5 minutes, she responded. And we ended up connecting and like direct messaging on Facebook. And she told me she has a daughter as well. They were born 10 days apart.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah. Well, because they're all going to be in the same age,
right?
Except my son, because
except siblings.
And
what was interesting too is when we, I reached out we connected, kind of went back and forth, shared some pictures of the kids. And then I asked her if she had any leftover, sperm she was willing to sell to us. And she said she didn't. And so we found a new donor, went through the IVF process. And then like within a day or 2 of us finding out we were pregnant with our son, she messaged me back and said she conceived she was a single mom by choice, and then met somebody, got married, and then they conceived naturally. So she was like, well, I'm pregnant, don't need this sperm if you want it. And I was like, actually, we just found out yesterday we're pregnant. Yeah. You missed it. Missed it by a week.
You missed it. But how funny. Now she's in the same boat as you and Robin are. She has 2 kids by different donors.
Yeah, and they both. So both
the second one's not a donor.
Both my daughter Croy and then the donor sibling are the same age, and then they both have baby brothers the same age.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah. But I say all the time, had that woman come earlier, you wouldn't have your second kid. It'd be a different kid.
We always say that if we had used the same sperm, we wouldn't have Luca. So we're so grateful. And so my wife carried both kids. And she's bio mom and gestational parent. I never was interested in, when I was little, I would always say like, oh, when I get older, I'll adopt kids. Even before I knew I was gay, so to me, it wasn't a big deal. So I'm like, if love makes a family, right? So who cares if we have to pick a different donor?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, good. So you came to the party way more prepared than I did, because I was like, no, I need to be genetically related. Ridiculous.
Well, I'm sorry, Jaimie. Were you done? I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Robin.
I was going to say, we talked a little bit before we went live about the idea, because that's why I was asking you if you had registered on the California Cryobank, thing, like, registered so that you're in that, like, whatever that magical page is, that's just for people who use that donor. Because the way that we like found most of them, because when we were looking for more sperm, I logged into that, because I did not want to meet any of these people. I was not open to that at the time. And when I logged in, there was 1 or 2 people in there. And I just asked if anybody had any more sperm. And the one woman was like, no, but I want to be your best friend. And I was just like, we're family. And I was like, and I got scared. And then I was like, and I logged out. But then when I got more comfortable with it, I started the Facebook groups. I started secret Facebook groups, and I just posted it on the donor boards so that anyone who came in after could join the Facebook group if they chose to. And then nobody had to generate anything.
Right. Yeah. So Robin, that same thing happened to us when we were trying to get more sperm from our donor. When we had run out, we went on the donor sibling registry, and there were 2 other families there. We reached out to both families, and they both said, no, sorry, I don't have any, but oh my God, let's be friends. Let's exchange photos. And we weren't ready for it yet. And we just squashed the conversation. But we recently went back to the donor sibling registry, reached out to, it's still just the 2 families, and I know there are more, And I just recently made a private Facebook group.
You did, Jaimie?
I did. Well, I made it like 2 months ago, and then I didn't do anything about it. It was just sitting there because that's my style.
Yeah.
And then I finally reached out to it's 2 moms. I mean, separate moms. They're both straight too, which is crazy. Like, it's 2 straight families. But I emailed them, and they just joined.
Cool.
And they shared
over
pictures.
time, like more and more people have joined. Like the one, like I have there's different numbers of donors for my 2 kids, and the one, a lot of people joined right away, my older, and then the other one, people have been trickling in over the years. And it's really interesting. And then like I said, somebody who was a later joiner, we found out we lived a block and a half from each other for 2 years, and now my daughter bumps into her. Like,
isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? You never know. They could be right next to you. But also, what I haven't done yet is I have not gone and put the Facebook link onto the donor sibling registry page. So
yeah, no one can join if you don't do that.
I haven't done that. I know that, Robin. I just haven't done it. It's on my list. It's on my list. I'm going to do that. But I think it's fun. I still am not like I'm interested in getting to know them. I'm interested in seeing them. I'm not one of those people who really like, I don't do the groups that much. I don't get on the group and, chat like crazy. And a lot of people are more that way. So I'm a little nervous being in this group. And I don't know what you're like, Michelle, but I get nervous in groups, and I don't want all the engagement.
And where are you, Michelle, right now? Like, what are you up against in terms of the process?
So we never joined any, we're not on the registry. Like I said, we kind of accidentally found this donor sibling. And so we only know of this one person. They don't know of anybody else either, any other donor siblings. And so we're at the point where, my daughter knows she's donor conceived. I think even when we were going through the process, like we'd have the huge sperm tanks shipped to our house, and she would go to the clinic with us and all that. So she thinks babies are made at the doctor's office, and we'll let her think that for her.
A lot of them are. A lot of them are. It's true.
That's where babies come from for her. But so she knows that she has a different donor than her brother. She asked that question specifically, but we read her. Yeah, it was interesting that she asked that. But we read her the What Makes a Baby book, and so she knows you need sperm and eggs. And a uterus, and she knows that she calls me mom, and my wife mommy. She knows mommy and mom both have eggs, and so we had to get sperm from somebody, so we used the donor. And just last weekend we were at a friend's soccer game, and some kid came up to her and said, "Where's your dad?" She looked at him like he was crazy, and just said, "Well, I don't have a dad. I have 2 moms." Duh. And so she's just never really asked any questions about the donor, and so that's kind of made it a little bit more difficult, is because she's not really asking questions. I like to think because we're just great parents and have told her so much for so long, but now we're at this roadblock where it's like, okay, we know this other kid exists. I did reach out to the woman. She's always been very open and easy to connect with, and offered. So like I said, she offered to sell her vials back to us. She ended up having a miscarriage. And then she asked us again after she conceived a second time, if we wanted to buy the vials from her. And so we've kind of had this, we talk every couple of years almost, just to check in. And so last week I reached out to her and just to get a pulse check, okay, so down the line, do you have any intention on the kids connecting? No pressure. As we start to have conversations on our end, I kind of want to know where you guys stand. And she was like, absolutely. My daughter knows about Croy in Texas. And when we're all kind of collectively ready, we're happy to connect the kids. So
that's great. Yeah.
Which is great. So now we're at the part where we're okay, so when does that happen?
Right. Well, and I want to say something to both of you, because I think that, and this is sort of part of this is my why I think the Facebook thing is easier. I think it takes some of the pressure off, because right now it's just you and one other family, or you and 2 other families, and then it feels so huge, it's a real sibling. And I don't mean it to say they're not real siblings. They are whatever you define them to be in your family, or even within each kid. Each kid has a different relationship to it. But my point is that there's more pressure because it's just a small group of people. When you open it up to the Facebook thing, it allows you to see pictures. Have somebody be like, what'll happen is someone will be like, oh, it was picture day, and they'll post like a current picture, and then a bunch of people will post a current picture, and then that's all that happens. And I feel connected. And if someone comes to town, like I'll be like, oh, if you're in New York, swing by, and it becomes less of this huge thing. I don't know. That's all I wanted to.
Here's what I have noticed, Robin. I have noticed there's just 2 other families in here, but I do feel the pressure, but also they're keeping things going on their own. So like I can pop in when I want to. I can see what they post if I want to. I can post if I want to. I just felt pressure because I was the one who made it, so I didn't want people to think that like I'm going to be like being a leader here. I'm not going to be a leader.
Yeah, there's someone who'll come in each of our groups. There's someone who came in and is like much more active. Like one person made a spreadsheet of birthdays, and someone else sent out, I think I had it up here for a while, a little booklet of all the kids and their baby pictures. And I was like, that's aggressive, but I was like, thanks. So it's like, but there's,
I think it'll be good.
Yeah.
I think it'll be good.
It is good. And it can be whatever you need or want it to be. Like there were some people that went on a Disney vacation together. That's not for me and Mary. We're not those people. Like when I have vacation, I want to go with people that I really vacation vibe with. And I don't know you, and I don't want my vacation to be.
You just might love them, and because you all chose the same donor.
Many of them that I've met, I do love, but it's like a vacation. It's like you get 2 of those a year, maybe, and I want that to be what I want it to be.
Yeah, that's just intimate. And
that's my feeling. But it's like that doesn't take away from my participation in the group, and out of that group. And out of these random, like when someone comes to New York, they'll be like, hey, I'm coming to town. Do you want to meet for pizza? And I always do it. That has sparked the conversations with my kids, because then it was like, oh, like the first one that came to town, we didn't tell them. We just said it was a play date. And then afterward, I said, you know who that was, Maxine? He has the same donor as you. And then I was able to use that and say, Henry, you have a different donor. And that helped me get the conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel a lot of pressure since we only know of this one child, and we live across the country from each other. So any kind of like interaction they have will have to be pretty deliberate. Like I think the donor, I think she's in like New Jersey and we're in Texas. So it's like it would have to be pretty deliberate, which I want for her. We had a foreign exchange student like 2 years ago. So my daughter was like 3-4 when she was here. And so she still refers to her as like Claudia, my sister in Spain. So she's like very connected to that idea of like, she's my sister, but she lives in a different country.
Yeah.
And so,
it's not a hard concept for them to get. And the reason that we just catapulted this whole Facebook thing is because my daughter actually asked about it and was excited to meet the siblings. However, I'm in a place now where I have this group, I have these pictures. We haven't showed it. We haven't showed it to Rose yet because I'm not, I'm hesitant. I'm hesitant to bring it up.
Why are you hesitant?
I am. Because I think it's going to go great, but then also I want her to lead it. So I don't want to just like bring it up out of the blue if she's not ready. I keep waiting for her to lead the conversation again, so I can be like, "Oh, I have pictures you want to see." But she hasn't brought it up, so I'm just waiting. And I don't know if I should just bring it up. And I don't know.
Just bring it up.
This is like a gray area.
Well, you have now that you have the group. To me, you just need an impetus. You need a thing to happen. And now you made this Facebook group, and you could be like, oh, hey, Rose, come on over here. We just made this group, and there may be more siblings joining. These are all people who share your donor. And here's the people who've joined so far. And then if she asks any questions, you answer them. But if she doesn't, you shut it down.
Can I tell you one more reason that I just remembered? It's all boys so far. And she's going to be like, I don't want another brother. I want a sister.
But there could be a sister coming. There could be a sister coming.
Right, but then why don't I just wait till the girl comes in? Because she's gonna be mad at me.
She might not be.
Also, I'm personally not disappointed, but I'm like, where's the gays? Where are the gays? Because they're straight, and I don't.
Or like, what if there's not an abundance of kids, right? Like, because when we were initially looking for the sperm, there was only 8 vials to buy. We bought 4, and this other woman bought 4. So it makes me wonder, like, what if it's just us?
Could be. I think it's rare.
I know.
I'd be really surprised.
That'd be real rare.
I'd be really surprised. I mean, I think we've got 19 in one group and 12 or 14 in the other. I'd be very, and that's not all different families. Some have siblings, but I'd be really shocked if it was just the two of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you never know.
That's true. Maybe there's
but it is all these things are the things that we think about, and they're complicated, and there are children involved, and we're trying to do the very best we can do and do right by our kids. And there's no guidebooks for this except If These Ovaries Could Talk, the things we've learned about making an LGBTQ family. There's that book, but
available at all major retailers.
But there's not that much. There's not that much. There's no TV show about finding your donor siblings. Like there's no. So we're
it is so nuanced.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Forging our paths.
So like you said, it's not even just gays. Like we have one of our groups has a lot of single women by choice. And then the other group has a bunch of trans folks, a bunch of and some of the kids are trans. Like it is a big, wild, completely diverse
rainbow,
group of
if
people.
You will.
It is. And it's like, and there's not just the Facebook group. Now that my kids are a little bit older, I've got one kid that's interested in connecting and one that is not. So my oldest talks to them that we set up Facebook Messenger for kids. And what's great about that is they don't have access to Facebook. They don't have access to Facebook. Yes, you can monitor it. You can see what they're saying, who they're talking to, when they're doing it. You can see any images that are sent back and forth, and they don't have access to Facebook, and you don't have to create a Facebook account for them, but it's just Messenger Kids app. And so she'll call and do videos with them, or she'll call and she generates that, and he does not. And so that's why I say to you, Jaimie, just bring it out there and then see what if they like. I don't have a lot of conversations with my son about it because he's not showing any interest. Yeah. But every once in a while I say something and then see if he picks up on it more or less. And if it's the same, I don't. And for her, she talks more about it. So we talk more about it.
You know I mean, for Ryan, it's still, I have no idea how he's going to be. However, he's doing the dad thing now that every LGBTQ kid does. We just pulled up to a house yesterday, and he looks across the street and he goes, "That's my dad's house." I go, "That's my dad's house." He said, "Yeah, my dad lives there." I said, "In that house?" "Yeah, my dad. I didn't know you were bringing me here."
He's like an actor with it too. He's got like a whole backstory.
Oh yeah,
I grew up here in the early 70s.
In the early 70s, this is where I started my life. He has a whole story going on with this house that doesn't even. It's not. We were going to the house across the street, not that one.
And Jaimie, I'm telling you, it coincides with pre-K, preschool, because they start to see dads at pickup, or or a parent that you don't have in your house.
Yeah, let's go ahead. You hadn't finished.
No, that was it. I was
trying not to interrupt.
I was like, where are you going?
We have he has 3 2-mom families in his class alone. Amazing. And then there are 2 more in the other class. One is a 2-dad family and one's a 2-mom family. So there are 5 LGBTQ families in our pre-K unit alone, which is like, we're taking over. They better watch out. PS340 didn't know what hit them, because here we go.
It's the gayest school in town. Michelle, we don't have a ton of time left. So I want to ask you, like, do you have other questions or concerns, or like, is there anything else on the topic that you've been thinking about, or that you're worried about, or what have you?
I guess like the age, like what's the just right age to start talking about donor siblings, particularly for a kid who doesn't ask any questions about the donor? And
I feel personally right where you are.
Yeah, like, me too. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Mm-hmm. That's when they're really starting to get it. They do get the donor concept, and they understand siblings, and they might want them or not want them. And so that's how I opened it up. I was like, you're always talking about you want siblings. Well, guess what? You might have 100.
You've got a lot. I think it's like a ladder, or you're like Jaimie said, they have to first understand that they come from a donor, and then they have to understand what that is. And then the concept of like, they have to understand their own siblingship, if that's a word, and then that they're a different type of sibling. And again, like, I can't say this enough, however you define that in your family. Like, we say donor siblings, but I know other people who say siblings.
And some people say dibblings, which I don't think I'll be saying.
I won't
be saying dibblings.
I mean, no judgment. It's just not for me.
Not for me either. It's not for me.
But
There's a cute book that you could bring into the Dibling book. That's the only book I know of about donor siblings.
I didn't know there was a book.
I didn't know that
it's
either.
called I've Got Dibblings. I have it. It's in the other room. I can't get it for you right now, but it's I've Got Dibblings or something. It says Dibbling in it, and I think that if you Google that, you're gonna find that book. But if anybody else knows of any other ones, I would love to get my hands on some, because this is how it's stuff like that where you open up the book and you talk about it, and that's how we talked about our donor. That's how we talked about the 2-mom thing, and having these books is really great. Somebody write that book. What's going on?
Yeah, you guys should write that book.
Yeah, we should.
Oh my God, we got a lot of shoulds. We got a lot of
shoulds.
Did you not just
barely make the reel today?
Exactly, about our social media problems. I was like, maybe
I was so stressed this morning. Like, I gotta get the reel. I gotta make the reel. I'm just gonna dance.
Time to make the reel.
Well, I appreciate it. It's been like super insightful to hear y'all's stories and kind of where you're at in the journey too.
Well, we're here for you, and now we're invested. So you gotta keep us posted.
And I love like that you emailed it, and it's like, and like that, I feel like that's how often we learn of what topics we've maybe skirted on but haven't covered enough, because it's like, we've interviewed almost 150 people at this point, and so we try to be really intentional with the slate to make sure that we talk to everybody and talk about everything. But it's like, we don't know if we we're like, are we repeating ourselves again? But some people haven't started from the beginning, so it's like it's. Go, Jaimie. Say it better.
No, and like you said, Michelle, a lot of these conversations and these topics are nuanced.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of things that maybe we can delve deeper into around a certain topic, which is why it was so great that you reached out about this, because this is a huge part of our families, but very nuanced part. That,
and I think a lot of people that y'all, interview are like, this is their trying to conceive journey and that kind of stuff, but they will eventually,
get here.
They'll get here. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think sometimes Jaimie and I we talk about this, are coming from the point of view of so far past that we're like, it's not a big deal. Like, you're going to have that baby. It's going to be fine. It's like they're like in a different place than we are. Because parenting is just nothing more than phases. It's all these different phases.
And you can only pay attention to the phase you're in. You have tunnel vision. You don't hear, when you're trying to conceive, you don't hear about how hard it is to have a toddler. You don't hear that stuff, even though we're saying it to your face.
Right.
And then like a listener reached out and said, oh my God, I was listening to you when I was trying to conceive. And then I just went back and re-listened. And now I've heard all of the stuff about having toddlers, and I didn't hear it and it's true. Like, you get tunnel vision when you're when you have kids. And
especially the trying to conceive process. It's so grueling.
All consuming.
It's all consuming.
So overwhelming it is. And it's expensive and stressful. And we've said it a million times. You want that baby right now. Like, as soon as you make that decision, you become like, oh my God, I can't live without this baby. And it's like,
why am I still waiting?
Yeah.
A day.
And even like, we interviewed somebody the other day, and they said, it might've been even Kim, who's here, who said something along the lines of like, it felt like forever, and it only took her 3 months. Or 3 tries. And she was like, I guess it's not that long in the scheme of things, but it's like, when you don't have that baby, that feels like forever.
Yeah. And that's that bird eye view. That's that. You don't get that until you're done. And then you get to see the perspective. So,
and then now you have to like leave a live stream early because your daughter just took the subway by herself to her orthodontist because you forgot that you scheduled it at the same time as the live stream. I'm just maybe that's going to happen.
That might happen.
Maybe that's happening to me right now. That was Kim. Yay!
Before we go, look at what Sage says here. This is helpful. My wife is super put off by the concept of donor siblings, so now we're leaning towards a known donor. See, it's good to know what your limitations are and what you're going to be comfortable with. So you're welcome.
Thank Michelle from Texas.
I know. Thank you, Michelle from Texas.
Well, I didn't even think you guys were going to respond. I was just like, I have to like word vomit my thoughts and just like put it out there. And then I had no intentions of ever hearing back from you guys. So I appreciate you reading my email and asking me to join you.
Listen,
we
here's the thing.
Try to get back to everybody. We try our very best.
We try our best. And here's the thing. I'm going to be honest, really, really real and honest here. Before we had this podcast, I never fully felt like a member of the LGBTQ community. I always felt kind of like an outsider. Mm-hmm. And so hearing from all of you and hearing your feedback helps make me feel cool. So really,
this is what we're ending on, Jaimie.
I'm totally kidding, but
I
no.
thought you were going to say who helps make me feel part of the
No.
community, but you said cool.
Cool. No. The truth is, it's the community that we are, that we love. We love you all. We love this community that is just being built around this podcast, and it's necessary. And so we want to keep this conversation going with everyone, with all of you, especially you, Michelle from Texas.
Yeah. So please, let us know how it goes. Get a book, do what you do. Let's do like a 6 months. Holler back at us. We'll have you back in the live stream and we'll talk about an update about how it's going.
Okay, sounds great.
Yeah. She's gonna be like, I have a Facebook group. There's like 30
Pressure's
people there.
on. We found 48 siblings.
I know. I'll be like, I don't even need to book
people.
the live stream anymore because Michelle's coming back. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
Michelle's our third on the show now.
Yes, and if you have reached out to us, like Kim just said, if you have reached out to us and you haven't heard back, it's Helen's fault.
It is Helen's fault, for sure. Well, thank you so much, Michelle. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
All right, see you soon.
Thank you.
Bye. Jaimie,
so
and
sweet.
Literally, I left my daughter at the orthodontist, so I do have to go. This was such a good chat, though.
We went deep. We went in hard. We went deep. So
whoa, okay,
that's weird.
That's dirty.
Happy
Spirit Day! Oh, showing your boobs again. All right. On that note, eggs,
ovaries. Thanks for joining us.
Good day and out.
I said good day out.
I said my dad lives there.
You brought me to my dad.